Hello. I don't do requests like that. I'm just here to make crafts. I'm working on a Valentine's Day dress. This is the top part, and then I'm going to use this for the fabric. I have like several dresses that I crocheted here, and this has like flowers and little bumblebees on it, so that'll be like the skirt part. Thank you. I got this fabric from a thrift store. I think I got this yarn from a thrift store too, but it took a while to figure out what I was going to make with it. Hello. I was on here yesterday and I got started with this, but today I'm going to try to get a lot more of it done. Because I have 3 Valentine's dresses that I want to do, and then another one, my birthday is around Valentine's Day, so another one for my birthday, but it's also kind of Valentine's themed. So pretty much 4 dresses that I want to make before Valentine's Day. Or actually before February 1st, because 3 of them I'm going to sell or have available to purchase. So I want to make sure they're available, like if anybody wanted to get them before Valentine's Day. Since this is just going to be a plain top, maybe like 6 hours or so to make the top. Like if I'm not stopping and talking, and then probably like 2 hours to cut and sew the skirt part. And then the other 2 Valentine's dresses are gonna have like little color work graphics on it, so that might make it take like 7 or 8 hours to do the top part. And then again, like 2 hours per skirt portion. So each dress takes about like 8 to 10 hours depending on the amount of detail that's involved. But that's pretty good compared to the cardigans and sweaters I make, because those usually take like 20 hours, so it's a lot faster to make dresses, which is what I've been into lately. One thing about me is I don't usually like variegated yarns. I don't know, I just don't usually like how they work up. Maybe it's because I usually do color work or something, and it's hard to like see color work when the yarn is changing colors, but I like this one because it's more like speckled instead of like just little random bits. I like variegated yarns on some things, but just depends. I have some of that like mandala yarn that has more like longer sections of color. I found that at a thrift store, so I've yet to try using that. That might be a little bit better for me. Or one of those self-striping yarns. I haven't really tried that. This is actually like a baby yarn. The color is called Bubblegum. Baby Bee Sweet Delight Prints. And you can see that it looks speckled there. But I think like regular variegated yarns are designed with knitting in mind, which I think that they do look better in knitting because the colors can like stretch out for longer lengths. I don't know, just my personal feelings about it. Thank you. Have a good day. Hi, I'm crocheting a dress top. It'll be like these dresses here. And this is the fabric that I'm using. It's got flowers and bees on it. I got that from the thrift store, and this yarn from the thrift store. It's like a speckled bubblegum yarn. And I'm just working on this one out of a few dresses, Valentine's Day themed. Thank you. Hi. Yeah, I love Valentine's Day themed stuff. It's like Halloween and Valentine's Day are my favorite times to like go into stores and stuff because I love all like the spooky themed stuff and the heart themed stuff. So I'm doing a few Valentine's themed dresses. And then my birthday is on February 11th. So I'm going to make myself a dress too. It's gonna be kind of like this. It's gonna be like half and half, lavender and half this fabric that I found. It's like cream color with pastel teddy bears. It's really cute. And then the top will be peach. So that's gonna be my birthday dress. And then I'm gonna have 3 other Valentine's Day themed dresses that will be just, you know, just to take pictures of, and then they'll be available if anybody wanted to buy them. Yeah, crochet with me. It's like a hard time of year to find motivation for a lot of stuff. Um, I was feeling like that a couple weeks ago, but I'm trying to kind of plan ahead and, you know, kind of set loose deadlines for myself just so that I have something to look forward to or work towards. Yeah. Definitely helps if you find something like a show to watch or, you know, something else to kind of add to the vibe. Like I definitely have not been feeling motivated to make sweaters recently because I've been wanting to kind of focus on other stuff like learning sewing and whatever. I was making these jackets and then I was making these dresses, and I collected a lot of fabric. Like I just started sewing last year late in the summer, so between like late summer, fall, I was finding a ton of fabric from the thrift store, like sheets and also just like regular fabric, or I had a couple of craft store gift cards and stuff. So I've collected a lot of fabric. I had like many different Christmas fabrics and I only used some of it, so I've got a lot of that left for next year. And then I've got these Valentine's themed fabrics and I want to put those to use before it gets too late. And I do have in mind the next like crochet sweaters that I want to make. I'm just not making them yet. I want to do like some sea creatures, um, like the 25 different species, but have it be sea creatures. And then I also, you know, I would want to make a couple dresses because I have some like nautical themed fabric that I found. So I might do like a couple of cardigans with sea creatures, maybe a vest or two with the sea creatures in the pockets, and then some like nautical vests, or I mean dresses to match with the fabric and stuff. And then on the same theme, my grandpa suggested nautical flags, which I love those. It's like different flags for every letter, so you could like put up flags that spell something out. Um, and I think that's so cute. I would probably do like small ones, like maybe like that, so that you would be able to fit, I don't know, 6 or 7 across a sweater. So I don't know, that seems like probably what's going to be coming up in springtime, is a whole sea themed different various stuff. Yeah, I was actually sick in November, and I don't get sick often, so it was really like, I had not been sick since 2019 or early 2020. I think it could have been COVID, like back then, before we knew what that was. Because my boyfriend was sick too, but we had like different things. Like I was throwing up, I had stomach problems, and then he had more like cold symptoms. So I don't know, we were both like working in like public spaces and, you know, a lot of people and stuff. And then after that, like neither one of us were sick until this last November, which is kind of crazy. So if that was COVID, I don't know, but we didn't get COVID after that. And then we went to a hockey game because family was visiting, and I was sat next to these kids and they were coughing, and I'm pretty sure that's what got me sick. Because I was sick first, and then like a couple days later, then he got sick. So that was crazy, and I was not used to being sick. So yeah, I was definitely like stuck in bed. And even though you're in bed, it's like sometimes you still just don't want to crochet or whatever, because it takes a lot of mental energy. But I knew those kids were gonna get me sick. They were coughing. But at the same time, I wasn't sure um, if I was actually sick, or because that same, you know, family visit, we all worked together to change out our floors from carpet to vinyl, peel and stick. So like we were ripping up this really old carpet, and it was all dusty and stuff. I wore a mask while we were doing it, but I was unsure at first if I was like sick from that. Like I thought it might have been some kind of allergies, because it started in my throat, like a sore throat. But once I was, then it was like sneezing and runny nose the next day, and like body fatigue. And so then I knew it was just like a regular sickness, probably a cold, or I don't even know. But at first I was almost convinced it was from the carpet, because this house is, let's see, I don't know, 40 years old. And I don't know how old the carpet was, but the people before us had 4 little dogs. And then I have 2 bigger dogs. And so I'm sure there was a lot of just germs and stuff in the carpet. Not pretty. But I'm really glad that we changed it out. We only got through my work area and the living room where the dogs are. So I'm really glad, because now I can kind of like roll things around in here, and the dogs, you know, if they pee on the floor, it's easy to clean up, which was not the case with the carpet. But yeah, I love my doggos. I've got my big dog. His name's Moose. He will be 3 in February. So we're both February babies. And he's a pit bull. And then we got Bear. She is like a little lab mix. Although I don't know what she's mixed with. She's really small for a lab. She's like 40 pounds. Moose is 80 pounds, so he's huge. And but Bear, she's like blonde lab. I don't know, she's got black paws and claws, and like details around her like lips and ears. But she just turned 1 in September. So she is really still a puppy. Yeah, I agree. Carpet is such a pain. And all the vacuuming and stuff. Luckily avoided it. Yeah, that's good. I never stopped wearing a mask. People, like, I mean, I try to not go out too much if I can help it. Like, I do grocery pickup and stuff, and I never stopped wearing a mask because there's different things going around all the time. And yeah, the other day at the grocery store, I did go in and I was wearing a mask, and then when I was putting the cart away, the guy collecting the carts was like, "Oh, did you get sick too?" I was like, "Well, no, I didn't get sick with COVID, but I never stopped wearing the mask." He was like, "Oh, wow." Like, I don't know, I thought it was a great idea to wear masks, and I never saw any reason to stop. Um, so I will probably continue to always wear masks, just, you know, like I used to get my nails done at a salon, and I would wear a mask there because there's so many fumes and stuff. I don't know, lots of good reasons to wear a mask. Pollution and stuff. Yeah, I've been hearing about long COVID, and that is really unfortunate. I know there's so many different groups of symptoms from that, and that's really scary. Yeah, I know. A lot of people hate masks, and I've noticed especially like several people who work as like nurses or something, and like they have to wear masks regularly, tended to not like to wear masks when the mandate was going on, which is really ironic. I mean, it's just such an easy thing. I don't know. I never had anything against it. I was like, these are great. Keep it coming. And then, you know, people were making like really cute masks and different like, you know, you can wear like a medical mask and then a different one on top, and there was like so many cute ones. I just wore like black ones usually, but I don't know. I thought that added so much charm to the whole unfortunate situation. And I can't believe how long it's been since like 2020. Time flies by, really. time doesn't feel real. You know, I've never been one to like believe in conspiracy theories, but I like the idea of like the simulation theory. I don't really believe in it, but every once in a while something happens like it makes you think like how could that be? Like just some kind of crazy coincidence or whatever. I can't think of any right now, but definitely interesting whenever I hear of conspiracy theories and stuff. Wait, I just remembered one. It was like the other day, or not the other day, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, um, when I was making this, while I was making this cat graph, the sweater that I had with that same graph on it, which I've had for like, I made it like maybe 2 years ago, but it sold. Somebody ordered it like the same day I was making that one, which coincidence? I don't know. I mean, it must be, but it's like, I don't know. Quite a coincidence. Because of all the days that it could have sold in the last like year or two. I guess I made it a year ago. I don't know. I can't remember. I think I had it in my what I made in 2024 video. So I must have made it in 2024, but definitely at the early part of the year. And it was like, so out of 365 days, it happened to sell on the day when I was making the graphic for a second time. So pretty cool. That sweater was actually at the local cat cafe. We recently got a cat cafe in town, and I was visiting there when my mom and grandma were here, and we were there just like hanging out with the cats. I already have 2 cats, so I was not in the market for a third one, but I noticed that they had like merch out and stuff, like cat themed merch, so I, you know, showed them what I've made that has like cats on it and asked if they'd be interested in taking some of my stuff just to have it there like on commission, or not commission, consignment. And they were like, sure. So I had 3 cat themed sweaters at the time. I had one of my calico cat cardigans. It was like shades of pink. And I had the Simpsons cat sweater and one that was like purple and sparkly black, like Halloween themed, back from when I made my Halloween cardigans pattern. So I had 3 cat themed sweaters, and they took them. They were there for maybe 2.5 months, and then they had to make room for Christmas stuff, but the Halloween one sold while it was there, and the other 2 didn't sell, so I went back and picked them up. But thank you. Yeah, that was really cool. The first time I've ever like left my stuff somewhere to see if it would sell. Um, so, you know, I probably wouldn't leave everything somewhere like in a store unless it was like my own store, which I don't have. But I was like, okay, 3 pieces, that's, you know, reasonable. So, yeah. And they said that we can see about springtime if I want to put them back, but the 2 leftover ones actually sold since I got them back. So, um, if this cat shirt doesn't sell by whenever they want me to bring stuff back, I think that might be a good one to bring in. And then I found a pattern on Pinterest by Katya Novikova is her name, I think. And it's like a collar that looks like a cat, like kind of, it's got like a button, so it looks like a cat playing with a ball. And I thought that was so precious. So I might make a couple of those to bring in. But I don't think the sweaters are a great idea because they're just expensive. I don't think like the average person going in there would be wanting to spend that much, especially because they don't have like a lot of display room. It's just like, I think it might have been a house. So like they've got half of the area for like the cats and the couches and stuff. And then the other half is like they've already got merch going on. They've got like the coffee station. So there's only really like one little rack for stuff. And then they've got like cat themed t-shirts and stuff. So there's not really room. Probably no more than 3 things can go up at a time from me. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't make like sweaters just to go there. But maybe like some jackets or whatever, smaller cat themed stuff. Oh, really? That's cool. I don't know, I might consider, you know, doing some stores, maybe just like a few things here and there. But I don't know. I don't know. That was the first time I even like considered it. There is like a vintage shop that has said that they would be interested, but I don't know how that would work. I guess I would have to like remove stuff from my online store and then just let it be in there for however long. But that's great for you that they do well. I like to hear that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's something I should look into. I definitely want to try to do um, more markets, like pop-up markets. I'm gonna do another one at Michael's, which I've done that twice and they haven't gone well. Um, Obviously, because like, you know, it's a craft store, so I think people, you know, people don't really have time to stop and look around like as they would if they were actually going to a craft show or something. A lot of people are just in and out like on a mission, or and I think like the very first time people just didn't even know what was going on. They didn't know we were selling stuff, I don't think, or if they did, they thought that they'd have to like take it up to the front and pay for it maybe. The second time was like early December, and like the first time I sold nothing. I had like things from $5 upwards and I sold nothing. And then the second time I sold a few things, and I think that could have been because I was like communicating better about what this all was, or could have been just people holiday shopping. Um, and then when I did the Denver Fashion Week pop up, it's kind of like, I don't know, when the doors open before the fashion show, there's maybe like 2 hours. People are, you know, mingling, getting drinks and stuff, and then they're shopping around while they're waiting for the runway show. And so that did pretty well. So I'd definitely like to do that again. So I feel like if I had my stuff out on consignment, I would want to collect it back to be able to bring it to Denver. Aw, that's so fun. That's really cute. I'm so glad that my sweet Duck Duck Goose cardigan pattern is so widely loved. I love your goose cardigan too. The colors you picked were really cute. So good for you. The model that wore the leather patchwork jacket in the Denver Fashion Week show in 2023 told me about this vintage shop that would have loved to have that piece. And I never brought it in. I ended up selling it later on my own. But all that leather was sent to me by my mom. She got like, I guess you can get leather scraps off of Amazon. Some of them were like nice squares. Some of them were kind of like they had shapes cut out from probably handbags or something. And so I don't know, it was just different like random bits. And so I used what I used for that jacket. And then I still had a little bit left over. So I'm having my boyfriend punch holes around it currently. And I'm going to make some little zipper bags. I bought zippers for them. They'll probably be like, I don't know, there's some 4" by 4" ones, so maybe like around that size. And then there's a couple like longer ones, so it might be more like this or like maybe a little longer than this. So I might keep 1 or 2, but I think I should have like 4 or 5 to sell. So it's gonna be like just like a slab of leather on both sides, and then holes punched around it, and then I'm going to use cotton to crochet around it, and then it'll have the zipper on the top. So they'll be perfect for like crochet hooks or like pencil pouches or something, maybe like a little mini makeup bag to go. But I'm really excited for those. They're going to be probably pretty easy to make once the holes are punched in them. I cannot do the hole punching myself. Like, I don't know, my hands are not strong enough. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. And I don't know, I'm excited because now all the leather is going to be used up and gone, and that's always satisfying. Thank you so much. I love the leather piece. I kind of wish that I kept it, but I hope the person who bought it loves it. So it really was something. It had like 250 pieces of leather, and yeah, I don't know. It was a labor of love for sure. 2 people working on it, and then every piece had to be crocheted around and then connected. It was like, I don't know, definitely the most time-consuming thing I've ever made. And the fact that it was reversible was really cool, because some of the leather was like had a metallic finish on it. So like I put all that towards the inside, and then like every piece had like 2 different sides. So like, you know, just the different textures and the different colors. It was gorgeous. Would I do it again? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. It's kind of up there on like unique pieces, as well as that fox fur shrug that I made, which that's really cute. I'm definitely keeping that because the yarn is discontinued, so I only had 3 skeins of it, and I could get like other brown yarn or orange yarn, but I'm just gonna keep it. And then I had some white fur yarn left over from it, so I bought a bunch more white fur yarn, and I am making a polar bear. Could be a rug, but because it's white and I have dogs, I'm probably just gonna keep it like draped over something as like a blanket. So I'm really excited for that. That's gonna be, I'm gonna make that a free pattern as well. Polar bear faux throw, I think will be the name. And it works up so fast because it's like thick yarn. And I have it like, I have it designed, I think, how I'm gonna do it. I just need to like do it. I keep putting it off for some reason. I've had the yarn for like a week or two, or a couple weeks maybe. Thank you. I had never seen anything like it either. I'm really glad that I have good pictures with it, with that leather jacket, and cute pictures of it on the runway too. But I'm excited for these little pouches. I'm glad that I was able to come up with like a way to use up what I have left of that leather. And I have a bunch of tie-dye left. I don't know if you remember those tie-dye. I made like white cotton, like a mesh sweater and a vest. Hi. I have a bunch of tie-dye left from when I did that. So I kind of want to come up with something to use up some of that. Like, I guess I need to get more cotton yarn and make something. Maybe I could do like cotton dresses with it, or something. Maybe just more cotton sweaters and tie-dye them. We kind of used most of like, you know, the rainbow colors, so I'd probably have to do like monochrome, kind of like maybe pink and purple tie-dye for one, and then like cool colors on another. I guess that's not monochrome, but like, I don't know. I'll have to see what I have left, but that's another thing I need to use up and figure out what to do with it. Because I get really stressed out when I have like too many materials. Like, I tend to thrift my yarn and thrift this fabric, but I only have so much space, and then it's like, I don't like to have too much leftover stuff, because then I get really overwhelmed. What is my dream? I don't know. I kind of try to live my dream every day. I just moved into a house, so I think that was top priority. I really needed to get a house because I have 4 animals and there was just not enough space for the animals. So if it weren't for that, I'd probably still be trying to save up money and, um, live in an apartment, because it's scary to like commit to, you know, staying in one place for forever, or the foreseeable future. Um, so it's nice to, have an apartment or whatever temporary rental situation so that you kind of feel more free. But because of the animals, I needed a yard. Well, I mean, I also wanted a yard, because I always had too much anxiety to like spend enough time outside in like public areas. So I'm grateful to have a yard now so that I can spend some more time outside. Um, and, you know, visiting all countries is a wonderful dream. I have never left my home country of the United States, but I would love to be able to. We have a family member who lives in Australia, and she said that we can come visit anytime, which sounds great, but we would have to figure out somebody to take care of the animals. And I don't really trust my dog, my 80-pound dog. Like, he's too dangerous, to knock somebody over or something. If anybody was going to try to dog sit for him. Um, but I don't know. Maybe Australia would be the first place that I could go, just because, it'd be easy to have somebody there to show us around or whatever. I'd also like to go to Europe, um, you know, England or Ireland or something, would be great because they speak English. Um, I'm learning German, so it would be cool to go to Germany. Um, yeah, Japan would be very cool. Any country would be cool, but those are the ones I've always thought about going to. But I hope that you can do that. You'd be very lucky to be able to see all countries. I also want to participate in more fashion shows in the future. Um, I would like to master sewing so that I can, sew like intricate dresses or just like, whatever I come up with. Because, like, I feel like I've mastered crocheting. I can kind of crochet whatever I think of. And so I would like to, um, get that good at sewing and even knitting one day. I don't know. Let me see. Thank you. I applied, for the Denver Fashion Week last fall, but I didn't get in. I think for the best, I think, because I was busy moving and stuff, and I would have been like too stressed out. Um, but I think like I also didn't really have good drawings of the concept I had. Um, but I applied again for this coming spring, with the same kind of concept. It'd be like circus, carnival themed. Like I would probably include the jester costume that I made with jingle bells on it. Probably do the clown costume. Then I could also include the salted pretzel sweater and the salted pretzel dress, and then other various, things of the same theme. But now that I can kind of sew and stuff, I feel like that would be a lot better, because last year I didn't know how to sew. So it would have been left to like just crochet and whatever kind of like base clothes people had. So this time I would be able to kind of like, I could sew clown pants to go with the clown sweater, you know what I mean? So like I feel like now I'm a lot more equipped to kind of produce the full looks. Thank you so much. Yeah, you should look at what is it called? The Craft Yarn Council. They have official sizing. Yeah, if you look at standards, standard body measurements and sizing, it kind of gives you information on what you're measuring and whatever. So, I mean, probably you would want to make a piece that fits you. So like my sweaters fit really wide and they fit like not very long. So then I take that and like add however many inches would be the next size up. You know what I mean? So I would probably just like make your size and then determine what size you are and then go up and down from there. But that's probably your best bet. That's probably what most patterns are based on, is the information from that website. I didn't know about that website at first, so I just kind of looked at like a sweatshirt, and then I looked at like the sizing chart of that and then kind of did the same thing. But I would definitely just go there, craftyarncouncil.com, and then of course do a pattern test and have a range of different sized bodies testing for each size. That way you can make sure that it works out for everyone. But yeah, once you do the math for, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out. I hope to continue doing these too. But yeah, once you figure out the math for like one size, it's not really that difficult to do all the sizes. So yeah, good luck with that. You're welcome. I'm really glad that people have had um, you know, positive experiences with the fit of my sweaters. A lot of people find that they're shorter than they'd like, or that they don't understand the sizing at first, but I think they don't realize that it's just supposed to be really wide. But yeah, and I also include like customized measurements within. So it says like if you want to make the sweater longer than what's listed on the size chart, then do so at this point, etc. You know, or if you want to, or and then later when you're assembling it, it says like if you haven't changed the sleeve circumference, you know, you can attach it here, XYZ. So that way, you know, a lot of patterns are either size graded or made to measure. And I'm sure that some patterns, like, it has to be that way. But where I can, I like to just include both, you know, like, here's the math done for you. And if you're not sure or you want a customized fit, then you can measure yourself and do the same steps, but with however many stitches you need to. So I like to include both ways to do it. That just seems the most inclusive to me. So if that's possible, then that's what I would recommend. Um, of course, like with mine, if there's a graphic, it says, you know, start on stitch 20 for size extra small and start on stitch, you know, whatever, 23 for size small. So then if you have customized the sizing, you're going to have to do the math to readjust the graph to like whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I like to include as many options as I can for people, and I think that has been pretty successful because I've never really gotten like terrible reviews. Most reviews are pretty good, even if people didn't like the way the sizing was like in the graded sizing, because then there's, you know, customizable options. So it kind of works for everybody. Like in that way, I've had people, you know, I've seen people make like little tiny sweaters for stuffed animals, you know, or you can size up and make, you know, extra large tall men's sizes. Um, so yeah. I've gotten a lot of this done. I think I started, I think I had 6 rows done at the beginning of this, a little over an hour ago. And I've done 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 more. So, thank you. Good afternoon. It is almost 1 o'clock here. So, this looks pretty cute how it's working up, speckled. Yeah, and this is the skirt fabric that it's gonna go with. So, I think that looks pretty good. And I guess I'm almost like halfway done with this part. This needs to be like, I don't know, it needs to go up to my shoulders because it's going to be the top of a dress. It's been a minute since I made one. I forget exactly how many rows I usually do. But I will just look at the pattern. I know I'm not quite there yet, but thank you. I got both of these from the thrift store, this and the fabric. I love thrift stores. Because this was brand new, you know. The label's still on it and everything. It was $5.29, but I probably got it for like $2. Hi. Yeah, I don't have a tutorial. I have the pattern for that. The pattern is $6.50. Sometimes I do sales, but I also have it includes 20 different graphics from sweaters she wears. So it includes the shooting star, it includes the llama, it includes the long wiener dog, the watermelon sweater, the sprinkles sweater, many more. So it includes 20 of them. And then there's also a second edition that has 20 more, because one time I looked it up and it said that she wears like, I don't know, I think it was like 115 different sweaters throughout the show. So I've got 20 designs in one pattern and 20 designs in the other pattern. So yeah, I mean, if you get the pattern, then you'll have lots of different options to choose from. And then if you ever wanted to get the second edition, I do offer add-ons on my website. So they're a lot cheaper once you already have a sweater pattern with the base sweater pattern. Then you can just buy the graphics and then, you know, as that add-on. So you don't need to get the full pattern again. So you already have the pattern, you just can get the add-ons. And so a lot of people like to do that because I have so many different graphics designed for the same base sweater, and then the same thing goes for my cardigan patterns because I have several different graphics all for the same base cardigan pattern. But yeah, my Mabel sweaters collection is definitely a popular one. I know a lot of people love to make the shooting star sweater, and a lot of people like to make the long dog sweater. So I myself have made the long dog sweater twice, and I even made a dress with the long dog on it. I sold that at a market, a pop-up market. But I had found this little sheet, and it has little dogs on it, so I made the skirt. The skirt had little dogs, and then the top had a long dog wrapping around twice. So yeah, you should make it. That would be really fun. And the pattern, it does come with a tutorial in the pattern, so like if you're needing a video tutorial, it does include one. It's just not public. Whenever I find some good fabric, I do want to make a shooting star dress. I think that would be cute. Just like one of these dresses with the shooting star up here, and then I don't know, some fabric maybe with rainbows or stars on it or something. I'm 25. I'm about to be 26 in about a month. Um, I tend to just make things like loose fitting, like my sweaters. They're probably about as wide as this sweatshirt, like it's just really wide, so there's no tightness or anything. And then when I do these dresses, they're also pretty wide. They're about 4 inches bigger than the biggest measurement, so like it's not like tight fitting or like fit to the body or anything like that. So I would just measure, I mean, it depends what you're making. Um, but I don't know. I just, like for the dresses, I just measure the widest part of the chest and then go up by 2 or 4 inches and make it like that. They they're really wide as it is, and they're also like, it's literally just straight, like, so I didn't do any kind of curves or increases or anything. It's just like a block, and that way when you put it on, it kind of has shape to it, but I don't really like wearing tight fitted stuff, so it's that's just the fit of the dress. So as far as like if you're looking for something tight fitting, I don't really know because I don't make things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just make stuff like that's really roomy with plenty of room. Um, it's just what I'm comfortable with. I like to be able to move around in my clothes and, you know, especially something crocheted. It's already thick as it is, and you're probably going to be wearing something under it, like an undershirt or whatever. If it's cold, you'll be wearing like long sleeves under it. So, you know, you don't want it really tight if you're, you know, if you're layering up and whatever. I don't know. Other people wear tight fitting stuff. This is just the way I wear stuff and how I designed it. So, hello. I don't know. I don't have a secret. I learned how to crochet when I was 10 years old. So it's been about 15 years that I've been doing it. Um, I did start with like little plushies. Um, that's what I made growing up. Um, or, you know, I started out with like small squares. That's probably the best thing you could do is just practice. You know, you can make small squares, you can make coasters. If you use cotton yarn or something that's heat resistant, you can make pot holders for friends and family. And, or you could make like, you can use cotton yarn and make like face scrubbies. You don't want to do it too hard because it's, you know, you don't want to use anything too harsh on your skin, but um, I would say to just start with small things until you get good at it, because if you try to start out making something bigger, you could get discouraged. Um, it's nice to be able to you know, make something and finish it and then feel inspired to move on to something else right away. So like I would say to start with some squares just as practice, you know. And at first, like, just make squares, and if you make mistakes, just let the mistakes happen, you know. Just don't stress out and give up. um, you know, it'll probably be like loose at first, probably a little lumpy and bumpy, but eventually it'll look, you know, it'll start to look consistent. I mean, I felt the exact same way when I tried to learn how to knit a couple years ago. I was like, couldn't figure out how to hold everything, and then you have to, like, with knitting you have to hold both needles and then also hold onto the yarn, and then it's like if something went wrong I wasn't sure how to fix it or what I was doing. But I just started making squares, and like when the stitches would fall out I would let them fall out, and then I would keep on going, and eventually it started to work out. um, So yeah, I mean, practice makes perfect with crocheting. I feel like there's three things going on. You have to hold the hook, you have to hold the work, and you also have to hold the yarn. So you can look up a tutorial on how to hold the yarn. You want to make sure that you need to hold it with some tension. Like if it's just like hanging loose, then that's not going to work. You have to like wrap it around your fingers in a certain way so that it's, you know, it kind of holds its shape until you pull at it. Um, so I don't know. I would say to just keep trying, look up tutorials, and don't expect it to be perfect your first time or your first 10 times even. Um, you know, I saw um, a few years ago, I didn't know how to crochet without looking, but I was able to teach myself how to do that. Even after I had been crocheting for like 10 plus years, I didn't know how to do it without looking. But then I saw a video of somebody reading a book while they were crocheting, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool. And, you know, of course you can, a lot of people watch TV while they're crocheting, but you can almost like kind of just listen to the TV and then like look at your work. But I thought it would be really cool to be able to just crochet without looking, and so I was able to kind of learn how to do that. Um, so, you know, there's a lot of different levels to the skills. Um, you're welcome. Yeah, I really like knitting. So far I've knit a few things. I made a vest, and I made a cardigan, and I made a shirt, and I made a hat. And I think that's all the stuff that I've knit in the last 2 years. I think it was in 2022 that I started learning how to knit. Um, Thank you. I mean, the dress is like a loose fitting dress. It just hangs on the body, and there's no reason why it would be riding up. I don't know. I don't really want to answer any kind of inappropriate questions here. Like, it's just the same way anybody prevents any dress from riding up. It's really loose fitting, so that shouldn't be an issue. if it is an issue, then somebody could wear like shorts underneath it or like a slip. But that's really usually only a problem if you're wearing like a tight dress that's like tight on the hips. You know what I mean? So these are baby doll dresses. That's what they're called. I didn't make up that name. And they just hang on the shoulders, and they're not tight anywhere. So they should just like hang there, you know what I mean? Hello. I'm working on a top of this dress, and this is the fabric. Thank you. Both the yarn here and the fabric was thrifted. I've been crocheting, I think, a little over 15 years now. I started when I was 10, but I only started to design clothes and crochet clothes like in 2020. So it's been about 4 years making clothes, but I've known how to crochet for a lot longer than that. I started out making little plushies and stuff. Beading is impressive. I have this, I don't do much with beads, but I recently made this cardigan with these pretzels, and then they have little, I put glass beads on there as salt. So that was really fun. Yeah, it's really cute. I made a matching dress too. It's like brown with the pretzels on the top, and then I had this brown plaid skirt or brown plaid fabric that I used to make the skirt. Thank you. I think it's really cute. I don't have the patience for beads too much. And I haven't really tried cross stitch ever, I don't think. Maybe when I was younger, like those little tiny kits, or like the little plastic mesh, but I don't know if that counts as cross stitch. That's true. Yeah, I only recently learned how to crochet without looking, so it's not too much of a strain on the eyesight, but in dim lighting it can be. Or if you're trying to use like a really dark yarn, like black yarn or navy blue, it can be hard to see. Or I'm sure if you were working with like a really small size hook and yarn, it's probably pretty hard to, or you know, straining to look at. But that's why it's good to have multiple crafts you do. I just learned how to knit a couple years ago, and I learned how to use a sewing machine last year, so I'm trying to kind of get myself to mix it up. I've done some paintings, but only like personal paintings. Like I painted my cats, like portraits of my cats, and I want to do portraits of my dogs, but I don't know how that's gonna turn out. And last month I did a painting of my house as like a gingerbread house. That was really cute. But I've only ever done a handful of paintings. It's kind of stressful because every time you do something that looks good, then you're scared to like mess it up when you keep going. It is. I'm in Colorado. I don't even know how cold it is today. 36 degrees Fahrenheit. The ground was all frosty this morning, but now it's kind of sunny, so that went away. Yesterday, it was really cool. All the trees were like white. I love when it looks like that. Like it's a little bit like foggy, and then the frost kind of builds up on the trees, and then they're all like white as far as the eye can see. So, yeah. And it's cold. It's cold in here kind of too, because we recently just changed out the floors from carpet to like vinyl. So there's less insulation in the floor. And I'm also downstairs, so it's like even colder than it would be upstairs. So good thing I make a ton of sweaters. I did a fashion show in, I mean, it gets pretty hot in the summer. Um, and I did a fashion show in 2023 in like July. And, you know, now I'm making like dresses and different things, but at the time, all I had were sweaters. And so, like, these poor models were just like wearing sweaters, like lined up, sweating. It's hot backstage. There's like, you know, a ton of people, hairspray, different stuff. It was like a warehouse without air conditioning. So everybody was just like taking the sweaters off, waiting. If I do anything in the summer again, it's gonna be like more short sleeve stuff, you know. But that was kind of funny. That was the first fashion show I did. I've only done two, but that was the first one. And the second one was in November of that year, so that was more suited for sweaters, but this piece um maybe like 2 hours, 2.5 hours total. um I've done about this much of it today, in the last 104 minutes. So that's like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes or something. And then this part was done yesterday when I was live on here for like an hour. But I stopped a lot and I was talking and I wasn't crocheting very much. So I would say maybe, I don't know, 2.5 or 3 hours maybe. Probably 2.5. I'm not counting the breaks. But it's going pretty fast because it's just plain. When I start to do stuff like color changes, like with the pretzels or like snowflakes or something, then it takes a lot more time because you have to stop and count and then change colors and stuff. And then every row you're changing colors. So that would be like, that dress top probably took 7 or 8 hours. This will probably be done in like 5.5 or 6 hours total. In fact, I think I'm nearly done with the front part of it. And then it's worked in one piece. So then I'll just do like the head hole and then go straight into working the back side. Thank you for subscribing. Have a great day. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. It was nice chatting. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. Thank you. I hope your live goes well. Okay, I'm nearly done with the front. I think I just need to do one more row, and then I'm probably gonna get off of here, and hopefully tomorrow I will come back and keep working on this. Or maybe one of the other Valentine's dresses I need to do, but I was doing these daily a couple weeks ago, but then I got busy, so I want to try to keep doing it daily because it helps me stay productive. And it's nice to chat with people and answer questions, etc. Okay, there is the final what is the word I'm looking for? Progress. Here's the final progress for today. Okay. Thank you for watching.